ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing.
Maybe. Sometimes.
Tell me about this. I want to know more.
Oh, yeah. No.
Holy cow.
We've had a lot of fun.
So it was a big week in our house.
Yeah?
Because
Do
my
tell.
daughter passed her driver's
Yay.
test.
Wow.
She got her license. And funny story, she during the test, she grazed the curb.
Oh.
And she knew that if you hit the curb, it's an automatic fail.
Wow.
So she was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I didn't pass.
Oh.
And then she came back and the examiner like goes over everything with
Mhm.
the child and the parent. And she was so upset that she was starting to tear up because she was so
Aw.
mad that she was so upset that she didn't pass. And then the examiner said, don't cry, you didn't fail, you still passed. Because if you go up onto the curb,
Aw.
then you're out.
That's
But
a good
if you
distinction.
if you just touch it a little,
No pedestrians were harmed. It's fine.
yeah, then you get points off, but it wasn't enough points off to
Aw,
to fail.
congratulations.
So exciting. That 20 you slipped the instructor worked out well then.
Yep. So
now the real nail biting begins.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this a
I know.
celebration for you or just the beginning of a whole new source of stress?
I think it's both because, I'm already thinking about how next week she has to go to the ice rink for pictures for the ice show, and I do not have to take her.
Yeah.
I can just
It's like a whole new
send
world,
her.
Catherine.
Yeah.
And she
And
can,
can
like,
she
run and
Pick
do
up your
errands.
son from things and stuff too?
Yeah, she can. Although then it's like, double scary because both
That's true.
of your children are in the
Yes.
same
Yeah.
vehicle.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
where
yeah.
Nicole's handy dandy trace them via GPS feature comes in.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You wave them off all confidently, and then you run back to your room and you grab your phone and you trace them every quarter mile of the way.
Now they're a Dairy Queen. Okay.
Yeah, really. I mean, get her rigged up. It'll give you so much peace
Yep,
of mind.
Absolutely. I used to have to tell them, when you get to where you're going, call me or text me. And now I
Right.
can just spy quietly.
Now you
And they
can just-
think they're independent.
Little do they know.
Oh, exactly.
Somebody's
Oh my
always
gosh.
watching. My dad used to tell me that back in the days before there was all this stuff. He said he had spies all over town, and I believed him.
No,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, he might
Well,
have.
when you grow up in a small town, man,
That's true.
you do. I mean, your parents,
Yes, that is
they
true.
do have friends.
Who will rat on you without
Yeah.
a thought?
Exactly.
Now we have to rely on technology to do that for us, as with so many other things. Well, congratulations to her anyway.
Yeah.
Thank
big
you.
Congrats.
Yeah, so we'll jump in and say welcome to Parenting Roundabout, a weekly podcast about the things that parents are talking about, obsessing about, and complaining about right now. I'm Catherine Haleko, and with me today are Nicole Eridix
Hello.
and Terri Morrow.
Hello.
So today on the podcast, we're going to talk about how you can spot a parent on our speed round, maybe a parent who's spying on other people's kids. We will shout out some stuff we like on the Roundup, and do some shameless self-promotion. But first, what makes a horror movie scary?
Well,
Where
can't
do we
speak to
start?
this very much because I don't watch horror movies. I went through a brief period in my 20s where I watched like Poltergeist and American Werewolf in London, and that was about it. So I am a horror movie wimp, but my attention has been caught recently by stories about the movie A Quiet Place, which showed up on my special needs Facebook rounds as having a deaf actress in it, playing a deaf character. Who would have thought of such a revolutionary sort of casting as that? Thank you, John Krasinski. And also that it's being thought of as a metaphor for parenting in the modern age and who are you if you can't keep your kids safe? In the movie, apparently, there has been some sort of, I guess, alien invasion, and these aliens can't see, but they are extremely, extremely good at sound. And so if you make any noise at all, you will immediately be killed. So
here they come.
Y'all take over. Anyway, so the film follows this family who is living in this new sort of reality where they have to do everything extremely, extremely quietly. And many people are thinking that this is sort of like what parenting is like now, constantly being afraid of not being able to protect your kids in a hostile environment. So that got me to thinking, what other sorts of parenting metaphor horror movies can we come up with? Certainly our days are full of stress and imaginings of terrible things happening around us. I'm not going to actually go see these movies, but I applaud them, and I can think of some of my own. So I got a couple ideas, but I'll start with this one. You know those horror movies where a person's sense of reality becomes questioned? Somebody is either gaslighting them to believe that they're going crazy, or, you know, they're actually in another reality and people are trying to convince them that something that they know is true is not true. We've seen those movies, right? We've heard of those movies.
Yeah.
That has pretty much been exactly my experience of going to IEP meetings for 12 years. Where you are home with your child and you know who your child is, you know exactly who your child is, and you go through a room of strangers and they say, no, this is your child with all of these problems, see? And you go, well, I don't see that. No, you are misled, you are misinformed, you are perhaps delusional. This is who your child is. I've had IEPs that had a different gender on them than my child. And when I went to ask it to be corrected, they said, oh no, that's not important. So you wouldn't have to even do it. I've had like people tell me, listen to the teacher who knows your child, when the teacher has known my child for 2 weeks and I've known my child for most of her life. So you wouldn't have to tweak this stuff very much for it to be one of those, which reality is real sorts of things. Will they finally drive her to believe that her child is a completely different child than the one she thought she had? No, she will
I can
fight
imagine
back.
this like Twilight Zone intro as well.
It's very Twilight Zone-y, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think you would not have to
is.
really... I think every parent who has been through any sort of contentious IEP situations could contribute events to a screenplay for an IEP horror meeting called The Team. So, Nicole, maybe you have one from the other side, from the teacher's side, a horror movie. But
From the teacher's side,
can you pitch a horror
exactly.
movie that would be a parenting metaphor?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking more along the lines of, because I constantly have these dreams, and it's like, you know, when you're trying to get somewhere and you just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's just, you know, there's things stopping you, and you're going to, you know, something terrible is going to happen if you don't get there. And so I think of like, you know, trying to get your child to their soccer game and you just can't get there. Or,
Except in that sense, you're actually kind of glad, but still.
yeah. You know, just trying to get your child to all those places that they need to be, and you just can't get there for some reason.
Maybe it's an alien invasion. Maybe it's a post-apocalyptic lack of fuel. But one way or another,
That's right.
you cannot get there.
And you just, you know, everything just stops and blocks you, and every turn, every corner, and there's, you know, something horrible you have to dodge and get around and fight off, and all to get your child to the soccer field.
Honestly, next time there's a superhero movie and there's some sort of, you know, horrible evil menace to Metropolis and buildings are falling down right and left, I want there to be one mom in a SUV honking, come on, I gotta get my kid to a soccer game. You know they're there. You know they're there somewhere. Yo, Superman, could you clear that intersection? I got places to be.
It's a big game. Come on.
Come on, I'm in charge of snacks today. Let's go.
I got a cooler full of orange slices.
Hollywood, call us. How about you, Catherine? Can you think of another nightmare scenario for a parenting horror movie?
Well, I was thinking of one similar to Nicole's, because I've definitely had that dream before where, you know, you're trying to go somewhere and your just thwarted all the time.
Yes.
And, you know, and so mine would be like, you hear a baby crying, you hear your baby crying, and you can't reach that baby. You know, like the baby's crying, maybe she's just hungry, maybe she's like being attacked by bears, you don't know, and you just can't, you know, like you can't get out of bed, and then you get out of bed and you can't open the door, and then you open the, you know, like, because you know, I still have like flashbacks to how awful it was for, you know, you hear the baby crying and you're like, what are the odds that she'll stop if I don't get up? Or what is the chance that my husband will hear her and get up before I do? Which is, the chance is 0. It is 0.
Of course.
So combine that with like being unable to actually move or get to her, then, you know, that is a horrible.
That's terrifying.
That is horrifying.
Right there.
Yes.
That is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are good. Somebody should like contact us. This is our next business thing. We're just going to start writing screenplays. Parenting anxieties made horribly real.
Right. It could be a series.
I've been thinking also about, you know how we talked about how come in those post-apocalyptic movies people seem to have an unlimited supply of contact lens solution?
Yes.
Even though civilization has pretty much ground down to nothing.
Fallen apart. Yes.
Right.
Oh, I was thinking that also in terms of, you know, when you're parenting kids with special needs, there's so much stuff. I mean, there's medical stuff that's needed.
Yeah.
There's, you know, psychiatric medications sometimes that are very important. There's, you know, we've talked about how...
Insulin, maybe.
Yeah. Or, you know, anti-anxiety medication, anti-schizophrenia or obsessive-compulsive or any of these things. Yeah. Or, you know, we've talked about how to keep your kid quiet in a lockdown if quiet is not a setting that your child's brain has. Mm-hmm. What do you do when there's zombies around the corner and your kid won't be quiet? You know, is it going to put the rest of the family in danger? What do you deal with that? These are the questions that the parents really deal with all the time, because you never know when some insurance funding is going to go away, or the school that works for your kid is going to be closed down, or they're going to decide they have to bring your kid back to a less perfect situation. Mm-hmm. You know, we're always worrying about how is parenting this child going to affect my other children. So I would just put that into a disaster movie setting, or a post-apocalyptic horror setting, or an alien invasion setting, and that just will ramp everything up like by about 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Right.
And that would be, you know, our lives.
What about like the, you know, I'm just kind of, I mean, this is great, because I'm just kind of thinking of all these different
That's right.
It's great.
parenting-related nightmares. But what about that mom that just, I'm thinking from a teacher point of view, that just stomps into the room and demands, you know, that her child
that would be me
deserves something or needs something, or, you know, even the mom on the playground that's out there to, you know, and so I can just, I just think of like King Kong or somebody just like stepping over.
Or it's like the
buildings and
the single white female but it's a mom that tries to like take over your life and take your kid.
Yeah, you know, when your kid says they like somebody else's mom better, what if that really then happened?
Right.
Yes.
And you were looking through the window. And what if that person was an evil monster from another planet, just masquerading as a perfect mom?
Yeah.
Right.
And eating small children or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody will believe you.
Yes.
Because you're just jealous that she makes better cupcakes than you. But no.
It turns out the reason why those cupcakes taste so good.
Oh, Catherine takes it the extra mile.
Oh, sorry.
Yikes.
Sorry.
Well, I thought parenting was scary already, man.
Right.
We can dial it up. Well, A Quiet Place is doing quite well. I think it was #1 at the box office. So maybe this is gonna you know, spur a whole new genre of parenting-related horror movies.
Oh boy!
There certainly would be an audience for that. Not me personally, because I don't watch horror movies, but I will read about them and I will talk about them on podcasts, and I will wish them well.
That's as far as I'll go.
That's right. We are indeed
sure.
wimps, but.
Yes.
if you have seen the movie and want to tell us more about it, or if you have your own ideas for parenting-related horror movies, let us know. Hit us up on Facebook or on our website at parentingroundabout.com or on Twitter or just any place you see us around, and we'd be interested to hear.
So, on another parenting-related note...
This is your creativity hour with Catherine, Nicole, and Terri.
Yeah. Well, so we were talking about, parenting-related horror movies and, different kind of metaphors for parents. But how about in real life? Like, how do we spot a parent in real life? Like, not the zombie or the alien or the... Because
they're hard to spot.
Stomping Godzilla parent. But in real life, how do we spot... we're on the street, we're in the mall, and, we just know.
Yes.
We just know when we're walking by that person that they're a parent.
Even when they have no kids, or even if they had no kids with them, right?
Yeah.
Just have that look.
I think if they would have just in general,
yes.
like I guess probably if the child wasn't around, or you just kind of, you either share a gaze across the, grocery aisle, or... I don't know, like, an eye roll or or a supportive smile or something, like how, or are there like Kleenexes like falling out of pockets? I mean, like, how do we know? How do we spot other parents in the wild? I guess is the question. Catherine, what do you notice?
I think it is all about the purse.
Yes.
The purse has to be large. It has to be, not super expensive. It has to be washable.
Yes.
And it is going to be overflowing with stuff and all the stuff you would ever need. Every contingency is accounted for.
Yeah.
When you have that kind of a purse, the only person who has that kind of a purse is a parent.
Well,
yes.
And this is so funny because I was at, TJ Maxx on last weekend, and I was looking for a purse. And I'm at the stage now where my kids are older and I don't really need that big purse, but I was in the aisle and there were two women just a couple of feet away from me, and they were looking at these purses, and one of the ladies says to the other, "This would be a perfect size for the toys that I have to put in here."
Yes,
exactly.
And I looked over at her and I'm like, "You're a mom, aren't you?"
I get it.
Yes.
So,
yes,
very legit, Catherine. How about you, Terri? How would you spot a parent?
Yeah, I definitely that. I mean, I carry backpacks for that, but I never leave home without Band-Aids and alcohol swabs. And that's something I never even knew existed before, the alcohol swabs. And, things to do, amusements. Every pocket of every jacket I own has Kleenexes in it. So that would be another good hint. Can somebody come up with a Kleenex in an instant? Yeah. That is a mom. Because you never know when you may need that for the normal uses or just wiping something up. Also, fast food napkins in every pocket.
Yes.
That would also be a giveaway because you see those on the table and you say, I'm going to have a mess to deal with sometime. I'm just going to take those.
Yeah. I have a great number of those in the console of my car.
Yes. That's where I collect
they either
them.
get stuffed in the car or in the jacket pocket or in the purse.
And the car is basically the moving equivalent of the purse.
Yes.
I think you could say if you got into somebody's car and opened their glove compartment and it was filled with napkins and possibly a few small toys, that's apparent.
Safe to say.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Napkins alone would do it, though.
Yeah.
I don't think single people feel the need to have 20 napkins at their disposal at any time.
No.
So.
Or I just, clothing with lots of pockets.
Yeah.
Yes.
A pocket for your phone, a pocket for your keys, a pocket for your...
Right.
When you don't have the time to throw it in your purse or to look for it in your purse.
Yeah.
It's,
How do you do that when it's always warm? Because that's the big advantage of coats is,
I know.
My car keys live in my coat pocket, for like 6 months. And then I never have to think about where they are. They're always in my coat pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then in the summer,
We miss those jackets.
They have to go somewhere else. So.
Yeah, well, I always like to make sure I have pockets on any garment I'm wearing. And I have a few sundresses that I really like, but they have no pockets. And it's like, who would do such a thing? Why are there no pockets on this garment? It's not that hard.
Clearly not parent.
Right.
I mean, I prefer the side pockets, but even a patch pocket on the front will
You
hold
could
some
still
Kleenex.
put your phone in it.
And a Band-Aid and a phone. And, you know. Another mom thing that I learned to do when my kids were little is when you go to a restaurant, when the food is delivered, you ask at that point for the bill and the to-go containers.
Yes.
So that you can make a quick exit.
So if you see a person at the table eating with the food container already there, you know.
They've developed that habit, and even when they're eating by
kids around
themselves,
the
they might get a phone call that they have to go somewhere. You never know.
Yeah. That's a sure sign.
Yep.
That came in handy many, many times. When the boy runs out of steam, beat a hasty retreat. Just put the rest of your food in here. We gotta go.
Go,
Bill's paid.
move.
He's gonna blow.
Get in the car.
Exactly. You grab the kid. I'll grab the food. We're going.
But I would imagine also if you see somebody walking around a mall, constantly looking around them, you know, just to, where's my kid? Oh, that's right. I went out without the kids today.
Right.
When you're so used to hurting small persons, and you forget temporarily that you've left them home.
Right. Exactly. Or even if it's the voice they use too, right? So if you hear somebody in a very strong, stern, you know, can I have my receipt, please?
Yes.
Like you just know that that's a voice that is used to
get results.
Yes.
Either. Like do it now. You've got to the
That might be a teacher thing.
to give me the receipt.
Or else,
or
on the other hand, if they
out.
come up and talk to you, you know, like the kind of voice you use to talk to kids. If you accidentally use that on adults, that's a giveaway.
Oh yeah. Oh, sweetie.
That's right. I often do the sweetie bit. It's just like somebody calling you ma'am and you feel old. I often say sweetie to young people serving me, and they do not appreciate it.
Yeah.
Honey, come on, honey. Also, a team shirt of some type.
Oh yeah.
A child's team shirt.
Definitely.
I have a gallery of Special Olympics shirts. So.
Or the button
with the kid's face
with
on
the kid's
it.
picture. Yes, I have the band jacket with my name and my daughter's senior picture from band. That's a giveeway. I'm not going to give it away.
My son had a hockey teammate whose great grandparents were like the super fans. Yeah. And they would come to every game and they had jackets.
Oh, yes.
It was adorable. No. Yes, they had his name. They had jackets, team jackets, and on the back it had his name and his number. No. And
There's one town that we compete against sometimes. I can't remember if it's Special Olympics or if it's Challenger Baseball, but I think they have shirts with the team name on the front and the back is the name of all the kids on the team or something like that. I am so jealous. I really want that. I keep talking to the other people on my team. We should do shirts like that. Shouldn't we do shirts like that? And they all just kind of look at me like too much trouble, but I would wear that. I'd wear that proudly. I want one of those. I'm going to have to get one just for myself.
So many ways to spot a parent.
That's true. Also, they podcast about parenting all the time.
That's
right. I think that's a pretty sure sign.
They never shut up. That's their entire Twitter feed.
They know how to keep entertaining.
They do.
Well, I think we're pretty good at spotting parents.
So
it's safe to say we're experts at that. So remember, you can hear a new speed round every Wednesday through Friday. Hi, we hope you're enjoying this episode of Parenting Roundabout. We're not one of those podcasts that's trying to sell you websites or mattresses or meal kits. I mean, we totally would, but no one's asked us yet.
There is, however, something you can do that costs you nothing, but will put a little change in our pockets. Listen to our podcast on the Radio Public app. Download the app to your iPhone or Android device and listen to Parenting Roundabout there, and we'll get paid for each listen. Plus a little more if you listen a lot.
We think you'll enjoy listening to all your podcasts on this app, but if you could at least listen to Parenting Roundabout there, we'd be very grateful. Now, back to the episode.
And now we bring you some of the things we've read or seen or used recently that we want to shout out and share with you. Terry, what do you have today?
Yeah, I wanted to mention a Twitter account some of you might like to follow. It's called My Girl Barks. And it is done by my dog when she has time out from her busy schedule of sleeping and barking and then going back to sleep. So, and when she can get somebody with fingers to type for her, that's also a bit of a problem. But over the past week, she's had a few things to say about our segment from our last group chat about why we never take our dogs anywhere. She's had some comments. So you might want to look for that. She's also advocating for an episode of this podcast that would be just all of our dogs barking at each other through the internet. So if that's something that you would like to hear and possibly enjoy with your own pooch, go find her tweet and retweet it. If it gets enough support, perhaps we'll consider it. And, follow her, say hi. She's getting a little peer pressure to go onto Instagram. That's where your dogs are, right, Catherine?
Yes. I mean, they don't have their own accounts. They have to share mine, but they are right. Visible on Instagram frequently at Ciheleko on Instagram.
But my girl feels that right now Twitter is the perfect place for barking because that's mostly what the humans are doing too. So look her up, give her a follow, and give her some support in her constant tirades against trucks and, me.
Will do.
How about you, Nicole? Have you seen something you'd want to mention?
Well, speaking of parenting and purses, as we talked about in our lengthier speed round, I recently bought, when I was out on the weekend in the purse aisle, I found myself this purse that is just like for me, at my, where I'm at in my life, it's like the perfect purse.
Yes.
It's a crossbody purse, so I can, just throw it over my body and I can still have my hands free to hold my coffee and my car keys. And it's got all these like pockets, but not too many pockets, and it's washable anyway, so the brand is Baggallini.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they sell a lot of different types of purses. Mm-hmm. And they're great. They're good quality and hold up well, especially for traveling. And I've had one before, like a long time ago, and it just lasted forever. So I found myself another one, and nice, love it.
All right,
nice.
Not a mom purse, right?
It could be a mom purse, like for teenagers, a teenage mom purse, like not a teenager who's a mom, but a mom who's a parent of a teenager.
Not that we're judging.
Not judging.
Making the distinction.
Well,
it's a mom in her 40s purse,
right? I am going to mention it. So we have actually, I think, talked about this a little bit on the podcast before, but I have become a devoted drinker of LaCroix sparkling water. Yes. And if you go on the internet, it is a common topic of discussion. There's like a dozen, at least, articles ranking all the flavors of of LaCroix because people have opinions. But there's a funny one on GQ, which was what your favorite LaCroix flavor says about you. And I was already enjoying it, and then the person writing it declared that my favorite flavor was the best flavor. And that if that's your favorite flavor, then, what it says about you is that you're a good person or a smart person. So I was even more inclined to like this article.
There you go.
Over at GQ. So check it out and see if your favorite
I'm gonna try
flavor.
that stuff. I like sparkling water. I don't know if I've seen it here, but I'll have to look for it.
Oh, I'm sure it's somewhere.
But it's in cans, right?
Yes.
That seems wrong.
Why?
I don't know. I just think of water being in bottles and soda being in cans. There's a right and a wrong way to do things.
Yes, that's what the internet would have you believe.
You need something in the can that has enough flavor to disguise the can taste, no?
Yeah, I don't think it has a can taste.
They use super pure aluminum.
Yeah.
Taken from the aluminum springs in the Rocky Mountains.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah. So check that out over on GQ.
Alrighty. And now for our final segment today, we are going to do a little shameless self-promotion and direct you to some things on our sites that we think you should take a look at. Nicole, what are you self-promoting today?
Well, in other news, in something that you haven't heard before.
Yeah. Jenny, any big writing projects coming out for you there? Anything?
Well, funny you should ask. I'm going to promote my book.
Oh, you wrote a book?
What?
I did. Woohoo! And it's been published, and it was actually sent out in the mail, and I received it.
So now you know it's real.
It's real. I have it sitting on my desk beside me, and it's so pretty looking, and it's glossy, and it's shiny, and it's big, and it's just full of awesome stuff.
That is wonderful. I'm supposed to get a copy for having blurbed it, aren't I? I'll be checking my mailbox for its sparkly beauty.
You will get a copy.
And then you will have to send me something to stamp on it for your signature.
To stamp. I'll send you. Yes. I will. Or I could just, sign my name and clip it out and you can paste it in the book.
Just print it on a little Avery label, and send it to me through the mail. I'll just stick it right in there. So how exciting to see your baby actually born.
Oh, literally.
Yes.
Very exciting. I when it arrived in the mailbox, I brought it inside and it sat on my kitchen table for an hour. I couldn't open it. I just stared at it. It was quite the moment. So yes, it's called Inclusion in Action.
Were you worried that if you opened it up, it was going to be the wrong book because they had screwed up?
Yeah, no kidding, right? I was a little anxious. That did cross my mind. But no, it's my book. No. And if you go to my Facebook page at The Inclusive Class, you'll find a picture of me the moment after I opened it. And I'm holding it. So you can see what it looks like.
Glow of success.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Catherine, what do you have to promote?
I
know it's all downhill after that.
I know, right? Because not a book, but I did write an article over at Highlights again, and it is called Get to Know How Your Baby Learns, and it's about a study that looked at, how your baby or young child will just out of the blue start doing something new, like walking or talking or, some big leap, and it seems like they didn't know it yesterday and then all of a sudden they know it today. And there was some brain research done that showed how, they're actually absorbing things and, their activity in their brain increases steadily, but new skills appear suddenly. So it's all about that. So check that out over at Highlights.
Very nice. Mm. And I'm going to put in a little plug for Round 2, which is the little entertainment podcast that Catherine and I do every Tuesday. And if you subscribe to Parenting Roundabout, it'll just roll right onto your podcast listening device. But this month we're going to be having sort of a family sitcom palooza in that we are continuing to watch One Day at a Time on Netflix, and we are also going to be watching the one-season sitcom Trophy Wife. There's only 22 episodes of it, so we're watching 2 episodes of that a week also, and it is a very delightful family comedy that got overlooked possibly because it has a stupid name. But in addition to that, on April 30th, we're going to start once again watching Dancing with the Stars. They just announced the all-athletes cast, and it will be a 4-week special event. So if you're into Dancing with the Stars and you want to hear Catherine and I make fun of it on a weekly basis, be tuning in to Round 2 around then. It should be interesting, if for nothing else than to see how 5'6" Lindsay manages to dance in hold with 7'2" Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, you gotta see the picture of them together.
Stilts possibly, or a rolling platform of some sort, or it's just going to be all open dancing. I don't know how they'll do that, but Tanya Harding is on. Mm-hmm. Nicole, you might want to follow that.
Yes,
and
more actually on Twitter this morning.
along with Tanya, there's 2 more figure skaters that are recent Olympians. There's Adam Rippon.
Yes.
And Mirai Nagasu. So.
Yes. And a loser.
Yep. Chris Marsden.
Who was with Whitney. They're a very cute looking couple. And a football player, basketball, all sorts of different sports. It's only 4 weeks. So even if there's somebody you can't stand, you can probably hang in there for 4 weeks. I do not know how they are going to do that with eliminations and stuff. It should be interesting. But we'll have a link to if you missed the cast announcements, all of that. But I think we'll have fun with it.
Yeah. So listen into round 2.
Yes.
To hear that. We always have lots of things to say about.
We do. That's fun. Figuring out who our favorites are. Although 4 weeks, man, that's going to be quick. We're just usually just sorting out who we like and who we don't like in 4 weeks.
I know. We're going to have to decide.
They're going to be working these folks hard, which is going to be fine for
well, they're all athletes.
Young Olympians, and not so fine for 70-year-old former basketball players. But I think Lindsay's going to have a lot of time to. It's only 4 weeks, so even if she's eliminated in the first week, it's just not like there's going to be 20 weeks ahead to sit out.
Right. Yes. And dance. If
anybody can make that partnership, that ridiculously off-size partnership work, it would be Lindsay. She's a creative girl.
Yes.
She has lots of ideas.
Was it just last season that she was with David Ross? She was with...
Oh, yeah, a couple of seasons ago, because last season she won with Jordan.
Oh, right.
The year before she almost won with David, who is not 70 and not 7 feet tall, but still.
But definitely like a stiff, older person. Like,
yes.
I mean, not 70 as
younger than me, so... but still.
But he's not, he was nowhere near like Adam or... Mirai, or there's a college-age basketball player this time around. So
right, it's going to be an interesting, and none of the major male stars on this time. No Max, no Val, no Derek. It's sort of with all respect, kind of the B team. So I mean, Artem's been around for a long time. He's definitely paid his dues. But the other guys, I mean, Alan, this is his 2nd time as a pro, and Sasha, I think, is maybe his 3rd. So they're all getting a chance. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think Sasha drew the short straw to get Tanya, but I think Keo and Artem are somewhere high-fiving and going.
And Keo, maybe Keo has a chance to.
That's a good-looking couple.
Oh.
They're about the same height. He's with a softball player,
Jenny Finch,
and they're about the same height. And so, but
he
you never
has
know.
Been stuck with the senior citizen ladies like every time. So
quite a lot, or the difficult. He's had difficult partners a lot of the time. Yeah. So maybe he has a little more of a ringer this time. Although I don't. So it'll be interesting to see. It's it depends a lot on the personality and the degree to which the person who has agreed to be a star on this thing understands what's involved.
Right.
Fortunately, it's only 4 weeks, so maybe they can't get that pissy in 4 weeks. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out.
But it's always fun when you see it start and see, oh, that person's going to be a problem. And this person who I had never heard of, I really like. Mm-hmm. So we will look forward to it. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Parenting Roundabout. We hope you enjoyed it and that you'll join us every week. You can listen to podcast episodes on Radio Public or download them from Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe so that you get all of our podcasts and mini podcasts.
You can also follow us on Twitter, where I am at Nicole Erdix, Catherine is at C. Haleko, and Terry is at Momitude. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter at Roundabout Chat and look for us on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, YouTube, and Instagram too.
Best of all, stop by our podcast page at parentingroundabout.com and read recaps, find links on everything we've mentioned, and talk back in the comments. Thanks to John Morin at johnjmorin.com for providing our in and out music. And I wish everyone a great week.